In today's video we are going to start a new chapter, that is chapter number 5. This is first chapter of unit 2, that is computational thinking and programming, part 1. And let us begin with today's topic, that is introduction to problem solving. Now let us know what is problem solving first. In order to create efficient and effective programs, we should adopt proper problem solving methodology and use appropriate techniques. And those problem solving requires 4 main steps. First one is identify and analyze the problem. Then second is find its solution and develop algorithm of the solution. Code the solution in programming language. Then test and debug the code solution, and finally implement and maintain the same. So basically the problem solving requires 4 main steps. The very first step is called identify and analyze the problem. That means you are given a problem. First of all, you have to understand the problem and you have to analyze each and every aspect of that problem, and then the second step we will find a solution for that problem, and after when we find solution we will develop algorithm for that particular solution. In the third step we will write the code for the solution in any computer programming language, that is high level language. In the next step we'll test our code and debug the code if it has some error. Finally we implement and maintain it in using any programming language. These are the steps while writing a program. We should follow these steps while writing a program in any computer language. First of all, understand the program well. We have to understand the program. We have to read as many times as possible to understand the basic concept of the or basic entities of the problem. Then in second step we will analyze the problem. How can we analyze a problem? By identifying minimum number of input required for the output. Means we will analyze the problem. First of all, we'll see how many inputs are to be required to find any particular output. For this you can take one example. Suppose you are supposed to calculate the area of a rectangle. So first of all you will say, how can you get area of rectangle? As you know, area is calculated as length into breadth. So that means you need length and breadth of the rectangle whose area is to be calculated. So we need length and breadth of rectangle in the input. And what should be our output? Our output is area. And how we will calculate area? Area will be calculated as length into breadth. So in this manner we can identify minimum number of input and output. Second is called identifying processing component. So what is processing component here in this example? In this example, area is equals to length into breadth. That means we will multiply length by breadth and then we will get the area. So this is called processing component. Third one is design the program by deciding step by step solution and breaking down solution into simple steps. Sometime what we are supposed to do, we have to specify or we have to identify the step by step solution for a particular given problem. Sometimes these steps are too long, so what we can do, we can divide or break our solution into simple steps. The next one is called code the program. Code the program means by identifying arithmetic and logical operations required for the solution. How we will perform various arithmetic and logical operation in a particular, using a particular programming language, that is the part of coding. Using appropriate control structures, that is for example conditional or looping control structures. Conditional structures means when we are supposed to compare two things. For example, we have to compare two numbers, so we can check a greater than b or b greater than a or a equals to b, like that. So these are called conditional statements. And looping control structures are the control structures in which a particular set of statements or a part of program is repeated or executed more than once using some specific condition. Then next is called test and debug your program. Once the program is written, you have written the code for a particular program. Unless we test that program, we cannot say this is a correct program. So testing means a process of finding errors in a program. And what is debug means? Debug means to rectify those errors. So the process of rectifying the errors that occur in a program is called debug, while the process of finding errors in a program is called testing. Finally, complete the documentation. After that, we complete our documentation. Documentation means, suppose we want to put some explanatory notes in a program, that we can do. And finally, maintain your program. Program maintenance means to basically what we can say, suppose once you have created a program, suppose you have created a program or you have written a program for calculating tax for a particular financial year. In next financial years, there may be some changes in tax slabs. So according to that, you can maintain your program. Means you have to change the slabs according to which the tax is going to be calculated. So you have to make some changes in your program, for that is called maintenance of the program. Then comes coding. Code program using appropriate control structures. First, when you are supposed to code a program, I think this is repeated once again. So we already have discussed this. Testing, debugging we already have discussed. Implement and maintain, that also we have discussed in previous slide itself. Now comes to testing and debugging. As you already been told, testing is the process of finding errors in a program. Once you have written a program, you will test that program, and the testing is basically the process of finding errors in a program. Debugging, this process of correcting errors found during the testing process. So the debugging is a process in which we are rectifying the errors that occur during the process of testing. Therefore, testing and debugging involves finding errors in a program and rectifying errors which have been found during the testing. Now the next term is called algorithm. What is algorithm? A set of rules that defines how a particular problem can be solved in finite number of steps is known as algorithm. किसी भी प्रॉब्लम को जब हम सॉल्व करते हैं, तो उस प्रॉब्लम को सॉल्व करने के लिए जो फाइनाइट नंबर ऑफ स्टेप्स होते हैं, उसको हम क्या कहते हैं? एल्गोरिथम. और वी कैन से एल्गोरिथम इज अ स्टेप बाय स्टेप प्रोसेस टू सॉल्व a given problem. The characteristics of algorithm: it should be precision, it should be its uniqueness is a characteristic of algorithm. Uniqueness means there can be many algorithm to a particular program, but the algorithm that is the best is called should be taken into the consideration. Then finiteness, that every algorithm should have given a finite result. Input means it algorithm should have some input values, and algorithm should have some output values. Component of algorithm: input, process and output. As with computers, every computer takes some input, then it processes that and finally generates some output, the meaningful information in the output. So input, process and output is the basic component of an algorithm. The success of a program depends upon the algorithm. The success of program depends upon algorithm, because if your algorithm is correct, then the program will be correct. So the logic of the problem must be clearly expressed in the algorithm. Then comes flowchart. A flowchart is a pictorial representation of algorithm. What is algorithm? Algorithm is step-by-step process of solving a given problem, right? And when these steps are written in simple language, English like language, when we convert these or we represent these steps using some diagrammatical representation or pictorial representation, it becomes a flowchart. So to represent algorithm in diagrammatical form, we need some symbols, and these symbols are: the first one is called oval. This is used for start and end of the program. So every flowchart will have this symbol in the beginning as well as in the end. Then we have parallelogram. This is used for input and output operation. Within a parallelogram, we will show all input and output operations of your program. Then rectangle is used for processing purpose. So all computational steps or processing functions of a program can be shown in rectangle box. Then we have rhombus. This is used for decision making and branching. Then we have a circle. This is called a connector. So if you want to join two parts of a flowchart, we will be using this box, this connector, this symbol. Arrows are used to show the flow of your control or flow. These are also called flow lines. Finally, we have pseudocode. A pseudocode is an informal way of describing the steps of program solution without using any strict programming language, syntax or underlying technology consideration. pseudocode बेसिकली क्या होता है? ये एक इनफॉर्मल वे होता है जो आपके प्रोग्राम्स को सॉल्व करने के जो स्टेप्स हैं उनको डिस्क्राइब करने के लिए, और इसके लिए कोई स्ट्रिक्ट प्रोग्रामिंग लैंग्वेज, सिंटैक्स, या आप सिंटैक्स का मतलब होता है फॉर्मेट या ग्रामर, जरूरी नहीं होता. इट इज यूज्ड फॉर क्रिएटिंग एन आउटलाइन और रफ ड्राफ्ट ऑफ अ प्रोग्राम. बेसिकली ये किसी प्रोग्राम का जो आउटलाइन होता है या उसका जो रफ ड्राफ्ट होता है उसको बनाते हैं. इस रफ ड्राफ्ट को देख के फिर आप अपने प्रोग्राम को क्रिएट कर सकते हैं, कोड कर सकते हैं. pseudocode summarizes a program's flow but excludes underlying details. In pseudocode, usually the instructions are written in uppercase. जो pseudocode होता है उसमें जो इंस्ट्रक्शन होता है वो अपर केस में लिखे जाते हैं, नहीं कैपिटल लेटर्स में. वेरिएबल्स इन लोअर केस. जो वेरिएबल्स होते हैं उसको स्मॉल लेटर्स में लिखते हैं. एंड मैसेजेस इन सेंटेंस केस. मैसेजेस जो हैं सेंटेंस केस. सेंटेंस केस क्या होता है? जैसे ये एक सेंटेंस है तो इसमें जो पहला लेटर है वो कैपिटल है, बाकी सारा स्मॉल है, राइट. सो दिस इज ऑल अबाउट today's video, and hope you got the terminologies being used in this video. Thank you very much.